Don't run away if you're not a fan of bullet hells, since while the Steam Shoot 'em Up or SHMUP Fest is live, it has kind of lost all meaning, since basically any game with shooting in it can participate. So here's a selection of demos to try and games to wishlist, beginning with Worm Slayer, a fast-paced, minimalist roguelite title in which you're descending into the Worm King's den with the goal of defeating him at the very bottom. It is cute and minimalist, but does have 3 character classes, with the developer saying that the loop comprises of 4 levels, taking 2 to 4 minutes each to clear, being a coffee break type of roguelite. Personally, I'm a fan of shoot 'em ups, since I used to play those all the time in arcades as a kid, also having an affinity for Tatsujin back on the Genesis, so this list includes some of interest such as Stel, a 1-bit black and white title that is kind of minimalist as well, and interestingly, describes itself as an action-adventure game with procedurally generated elements and will be for fans of the genre. This video is brought to you by Galactic Glitch Infinity's Edge, an arena action roguelite with also satisfying gameplay since physics are involved. Yes, while it looks like a space twin-stick shooter, you do have fun abilities at your disposal, including grabbing an asteroid and flinging it into the gravitational field of the play area, only for it to slingshot back to destroy your enemies. You can even rip apart enemy ships, grab their missiles and throw it back in their face and more, not to mention plenty of weapon and ability variety, which results in fun builds for every run. So if interested, wishlist the game via the link in the description below. When I say that the festival doesn't make sense anymore, it is because titles like Iron Dungeon are included, since this is a straight up roguelite platformer, and sure, you are shooting enemies up, but it's not exactly a shoot 'em up in the traditional genre sense. However, I do like these as well, and this sci-fi entry looks neat, in which you are exploring an underground complex, getting weapons and upgrades as you attempt to fight your way to the surface, trying to find out if there's any life left on Earth. It has a good, clean pixel art look and looks pretty good, although I am concerned that this isn't doing anything to differentiate itself from the rest of these games. Another more classic-looking vertical shoot 'em up title is Against Great Darkness, one that has a fantastic art style might I add, which makes it stand out. Alas, the modern realities of game development sets in, and that this game is a roguelite as well, so there are meta progression systems and upgrades from run to run. Interestingly, the developer included Brick Breaker in addition to Bullet Hell when talking about this title, so it mixes in another classic game type, and where the concept of calling upon pagan gods and their powers to smite Lucifer in hell seems great as well. If you're sick of the multiple roguelites in the festival, perhaps Memory Lost will be of interest, a linear, story-driven top-down shooter in which you're able to transfer your consciousness into enemies and then to use them to fight against their former allies. It is set in a cyberpunk dystopia, which kind of explains the tech behind being able to transfer your mind, where of course, every new body that you possess means new weapons and abilities. It looks pretty sleek as well in that cyber ninja kind of way as you seek to free the city from the mega corporations, and is worth a look. There are of course a whole bunch of Vampire Survivors likes in the festival as well, most of which don't appear to be very good, so my pick of the list would be Rhythm Storm, a title that did show up in my summer showcase as well, so pick up the demo if you have not. This is of course a swarm survival title, in which enemies surround you on all sides, but does also have an interesting limited colour palette of blue and orange, which gives it a Geometry Wars feel. The particle effects in this might just melt your computer, and it also has rhythm elements in which the game world pulses to the beat. I suppose this game is pronounced stralbringer Shaded Arkarium, a classically designed bullet hell title with projectiles filling the screen, coming to us from a Japanese developer who pretty much exclusively makes games in this genre based on their release history on Steam. Based on this trailer, this game looks pretty intense, with projectiles of all shapes and sizes coming at you from every angle, and interestingly, has mouse control as one of the key features as you can be rather precise. You can also launch ranged attacks like a multi-shot, a melee attack like the blade, as well as defensive abilities, and as upgrades which carry over if you do fall in combat, so it's a little forgiving in that sense. It does look very anime as well, with a story to match, and seems to be a good representation of the genre. This next title has been getting some buzz since SHMUP is an action arena roguelite in which you're moving from one room to the next in a manner not unlike Star of Providence, formerly known as Monolith, but this adds in a frequency switching element as you switch from red to blue, which negates projectiles of that same color, similar to games like Ikaruga. It also has 100 plus relics, taking inspiration from games like Isaac, as well as 30 plus weapons and different mods, 12 gods to choose between and appease in order to gain their favour, as well as tremendous looking boss fights. Early receptions to its demo has been good, so if curious, fire it up for yourself and let me know what you think in the comments below. Another title that I had in my summer showcase is Mini Shoot Adventures, one that at the time described itself as a Metroidvania, although I was seeing more 2D Zelda-style action-adventure. You're exploring a world and flying from one location to the next, encountering enemies and bosses along the way, which of course means combat. There are plenty of projectiles in play as you shoot, dodge and maneuver yourself into a more advantageous position, with special upgrades Metroidvania style, such as allowing you to break through rocks to access new areas, increase your health and so on. This is from a developer that has made quite a number of Flash games such as Swords and Souls and Rogue Soul, with this looking to be their most ambitious title yet. I've been keeping an eye on this game ever since I came to know of it, since it's a pixel art roguelite that kind of looks Nuclear Throne inspired but with a Viking theme. So of course, Odin Fall is of interest, especially since you're attempting to take down robotic Norse gods instead of calling upon them as in other games. I see interpretations of Fenrir and Loki in this, with customizable weapon systems that allow you to mix and match abilities being central to the combat, so I cannot wait to dig into this one with more of the best pixel art games in this video.